let's say it's the mid-80s. Around 1984 to 1985. And you're going to a show in the Orlando area. You arrive at the venue at 6:55. The doors open at 7. And right when the doors open, you pay the ticket usher, get inside, and you see a band setting up their gear. Now, you don't think nothing of just another local band setting up gear. You're just here to experience a live show, right? What could possibly be so cool about this band? Then you hear them play. Your mind has been blown. After the show, you ask for one of their demos. And this band is called Death. Welcome to the brief summary and history of Death, part 1. Let's begin, shall we? Death as a band was formed in 1983 in Altamonte Springs, Florida, with the founding member being Chuck Schnolder as the guitarist. The original name of the band was Mantis, but then it was later changed to Death to honor his older brother, who passed away in a car accident when Chuck was only 9 years old. However, their rise to success might be one of the most trickiest and unlikely of events considering their early days. The original lineup consisted of band members Chuck Schnolder on vocals and guitars, Lee on drums, and Rick Ross also on guitar. And with this new band, they will release their first rehearsal tapes in 1984, which was then picked up by the local tape trading community. Which, if you didn't know what tape trading was, in the pre-internet days, tape trading was a prime way to get the word out between the local scene and possibly, if you're lucky enough, your state or country, just depending on, how known you are within the tape trading and local scene. By 1985, they released a new tape called Infernal Death. But anyway, right on the cusp, right when that tape was made, Rick Ross was out of the band, and then Cam was out later that year due to personal problems, which is right when they were picked up by a label. But that didn't deter old Chuck. No, sir, it didn't. After that all happens, Chuck decides to move to the San Francisco Bay Area. And wouldn't you know it, he recruits a band member, a drummer, Eric Brett, from the band Dirty Rotten Imbeciles. And then he records a new tape titled Back from the Dead. But, unfortunately, he did not like this version of the band, so he moves back to Florida and somehow gets picked up by a Canadian thrash death band, or proto-thrash band, called Slaughtered, which that only lasted 2 weeks before he's yet again back in Florida. When he's back in Florida, he moves back to San Francisco. This dude moved around a lot, man. I guess he just liked San Francisco, man. Jeez. And with the help of a 17-year-old drummer named Chris Reifhardt, they record their first demo in 1986. During that summer of 1986, they go out to record their first album, but unfortunately, it was written off as a mistake by the record label, to which that record label then sends them to Los Angeles, California to record their first album. What was the studio they had to record in? None other than Music Grinder Studios, which I am sorry to report is officially closed. But they did get to work with producer Randy Burns, which is known for producing a lot of big name and local names in the Los Angeles music scene, including Megadeth, but most importantly, Possessed. Let me tell you something, Chuck was feeling pretty optimistic about this guy due to the fact that he worked with Possessed in the album Seven Churches, which, if you didn't know, Possessed is one of Chuck Schnolder's influences for their sound. Scream Bloody Gore, their first album, was then released in 1987, and it serves as one of the foundational building blocks of death metal, with a lot of bands upwards in the late 80s and 90s being inspired by this album. Now, if you want, you can follow me for part 2 where I discuss their mid-era. This is my first, more than a minute long informational video for now. I hope to create more of these, and I hope to cover more parts of this. I'm thinking of doing another part soon, so if you like my content, please like, subscribe, follow, and share. I'm out.